thanks for checking out this video. So before we begin, I just want to say that this video is going to be slightly different to what I normally put out. I am going to be going to the Titanic artifact exhibit, and for those that don't know, I am a huge Titanic nerd. I've always loved the ship ever since I was young, and I also have a really strong interest in ships and planes and machinery. So I'm really excited. My cousin actually bought me the tickets to go see this exhibit, so I'm so excited. I have always been a huge fan of ships, especially from the Edwardian era, so I do like the Titanic, but I also have other favorites as well, like the Lusitania, which is one of my favorite ships of all time, and then sort of beyond that Edwardian era, the RMS Queen Mary. That's also another one of my favorite ships, and that one actually still exists today, so it is actually on my bucket list to one day go see it in person. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Here is the video of me going to the Titanic artifact exhibit. So today I'm going to be going to the Titanic Artifact Museum. For those that don't know, I am a big Titanic nerd. Ever since I saw the original James Cameron movie, I've been obsessed with the Titanic and everything that happened on it, the stories of all the people, the ship and the engineering, and it just sort of brought me down a rabbit hole of being obsessed with ocean liners, especially from that sort of like Edwardian era. I've just made a hot chocolate this morning using my replica third class White Star Line mug, but I will take you through sort of my day and the exhibition. Can't wait to take you guys with me. As I said before, I'm obsessed with the Titanic, so I'm super excited to show you through it. Bright and sunny day today, so I'm going to be dressing very lightly, but I'm again very keen. I'm going to be catching up with my cousin, so her and I are going to go together, and it's going to be great, so I cannot wait to take you with me. Hey everyone, it is me, Fern, so I'm just popping in as a voiceover just because it was pretty quiet in the exhibit, so it's just a bit hard to talk. So this is what we first see when we enter the exhibit. There's general information about the Titanic. Here you can see it's a reproduction of the first class corridor, I believe, but please correct me if I'm wrong. This is what we see when we enter in the main exhibit area. So upon entering the main area, the first thing that really attracted me was this display of china that had been recovered. So this is a combination of first and second class china. That mug there would have been used for deck service to serve hot chocolate to first class. So I bought a third class replica mug, which is that image to the left, which is a reproduction of this artifact here, which is a third class mug. So this artifact here is very interesting. So it's an ornamental window frame that would have belonged to a door to the first class dining saloon. There's a picture of it on the wreck, which I thought was really interesting. Here we can see some money that was also recovered. I really enjoyed seeing this one. So here we have a reproduction of the Titanic Grand Staircase. This was probably my favourite set in the exhibit. It just felt absolutely breathtaking and was just so much fun to be in. Here you can see me try and take a selfie with my cousin. I was absolutely obsessed with this. So, fun fact, a lot of the known photos we have of the Grand Staircase actually belonged to Titanic's sister ship, Olympic. There aren't any known photos of Titanic's Grand Staircase, so I just thought that was a really interesting fact. Here we can see the base of the cherub that belonged on the Grand Staircase, and here in this display case is the actual cherub itself. I thought that was really interesting. So here's a picture of the Grand Staircase from Olympic. Zooming in, there's the cherub and what it would have looked like on the staircase. So here we have the second class and third class food menus, which I thought was very interesting. Here we have the second class plate and soup bowl. That pattern is still available today. And here we have a comparison of second class on the left and third class on the right. Here we have the remnants of a wall sconce that would have belonged in the first class lounge, and here we have the Dalton & Co. spring-loaded sink with taps, which would have belonged in a first class cabin. Here we have a reproduction of one of the first class suites, which I thought was very interesting to see. Really loved it. And again, some more artifacts, some tiling as well, which I thought was really cool. Here we have a reproduction of a third class cabin, again, which is really nice. And this second part of the exhibit now goes into, I guess, the boiler room and what happened to the people below deck. And here we see Titanic's telegraph, which First Officer William Murdoch would have used to communicate to the engine room, which I thought was very interesting to see. So one of my favourite parts of the exhibit was this section here. So you would have the artefact in a glass cabinet, and then behind it is a photograph of where it was recovered from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. So you can see there are some plates, and there it is in the glass cabinet, which I thought was very cool and very chilling to see. Here we have some clothes that were recovered. In the wreck, you do find a lot of these personal items that belonged to real people. At the beginning of the exhibit, you're given details of a real-life passenger that travelled aboard Titanic, and then you get to this wall with all the names of the people that perished and survived to see the details of your passenger on this wall. So that's sort of what happens at the end of the exhibit, which I thought was really interesting. So I just got back home and I had the best time ever. Absolutely enjoyed it. I'm so glad I went and I highly recommend it. It's still going on in Melbourne till the end of April. No, sorry, mid-April. So definitely check it out. It's fantastic. If you are a Titanic nerd, or if you're into history and ocean liners and ships from the Edwardian era, definitely check it out. It is so good. If you're really keen on seeing the artifacts and the stories of the individual passengers and crew, it talks about all of that. It goes into so much detail, and yeah, I just highly recommend it. So definitely check it out. The other thing that I really liked about it was, it didn't lean into sort of the pop culture of Titanic that we know. So, with James Cameron's movie, we know about the basic details of Titanic, like how it sank and sort of the main prominent people, but it went into more detail than that and talked about more of sort of like the historical events, things like, you know, it mentioned about the Carpathia, the ship that rescued the survivors of Titanic. It talked through all the different famous passengers on board, including the crew as well. It had artifacts and explained what each artifact was and what part of the ship they belonged in. So it's very educational, and even if you are not interested in the Titanic, the history of it and the stories of the passengers might be something that could be entertaining for someone who's possibly not that into the Titanic. But again, I highly recommend it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, definitely hit subscribe and hit like. And if you're keen to see other content around fashion, lifestyle, modeling, or anything else that falls into my general interests, definitely hit subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video. Don't forget to check me out on my other social media profiles as well. So I'm on Instagram and TikTok. And if you are sticking around, then I hope to see you in another video. Bye.